Hi, this is Acme with the Bulletin Board Heroes here at Vox Markets for Thursday, the 30th of December. Starting off with Contango, where people seem to be quite excited about the shares. It reminds me a bit of Afritin, that we finally had a breakout after an extended consolidation. That was the best part of 2 months, either side of 6 pence. And now that we've broken higher with the break really through the 50 and 200-day moving averages, they were around, they're still around 6.75 above that, looking for the top of the rising one-year trend channel as high as 13 pence over the next 2 to 3 months. A weekly close above the old October resistance at 8 pence would be a decent momentum signal for those still waiting on a proper move. Next up is Eurasia, where we've had a decent, I suppose you call it diversification with the company into the hydrogen ammonia area, which is very hot at the moment. So far the share's edging up, but they've already had a triple support since September at or just below 20 pence. Before that actually they had a bear trap gap reversal below 20 pence again. So I think the sort of search for support below 20 pence is now finally over. Looking for the shares to break that line of resistance from September around 25 pence, and then after that hopefully back up to the 40s, which has been a one-year resistance. So everything really here on breaking the 25 pence level. If you're looking for an earlier trigger, then maybe the 50-day moving average just under 24 pence on an end-of-day close or a weekly close basis would do the trick. Moving on to Genedrive, which has been in recovery mode over recent days and I suppose weeks really. We broke that line of resistance there from back in May, and the 50-day moving average just under 20 pence, and it's been recovery ever since. Good that we've had support coming in above the rising 50-day moving average. That's a very strong signal, and all we're waiting for now really is an end of day or a weekly close above the 200-day line at 50 pence. If we can do that in the next 24 hours, then the upside here could be as high as 90 pence, the top of that broadening triangle from the end of June. That's heading towards 85, 86 pence, maybe on a 2 to 3 month view, so end of first quarter or sooner for Genedrive on that particular target. You can see that when shares move, they really move. Onto a stock which has had bumper news today. Galileo Resources, great JV news, especially for a company which has only got a £10 million market cap at the moment. Breaking the 50-day moving average around the 1 penny level, and above that on an end-of-day close basis, we should be able to get up towards the 200-day line initially over the next maybe 2 to 4 weeks. That's at 1.3 pence. The last time we were up there, the 200-day line was back in September, and through the 200-day line looking for 1.8, maybe on a 2 to 3 month time frame, which is the top of a June broadening triangle. Onto a stock which I don't look at very much, but seemed churlish to miss it out today. Here we've got Ilika, which after that bull trap through 200 pence came back as the market, well, as stocks do in the current environment, down to the 50-day line, 136, but gap through the 200-day moving average yesterday shows that the momentum is now really building, and we've effectively got an island bottom there for the shares, a gap down and then the gap higher. That's a very strong charting signal. Also looks a bit like a saucer here, a sort of rather erratic saucer in place since July, so expecting 200 pence to break relatively soon, early next month, and then the target maybe on a 1 to 2 month basis up to £3, which is the top of that rising trend channel from this time last year. At this stage, only an end-of-day close back below the 200-day line, and that gap at 165 really delaying the upside scenario. Looked at Napster yesterday, I think, and shares in recovery mode here. It's very interesting that this sort of area of the market on the front foot. We've got stocks like Audio Boom obviously doing very well as well. Here we've had this U-shaped reversal. Great looking sort of green candles, the positive candles there over the last week or two, and a gap higher today for the shares through 0.6 pence, above 0.6. We're looking for 1.1, 1.2 pence, which was the last major resistance on the way down. A name which has been on the back foot over the last many months now, I think, is Oxford Biodynamics, but looks as though the stock back in form here. We hit the bottom of that June triangle at just around the 30 pence level, maybe a bit optimistic on the top part of that triangle. Maybe that's looking towards 70 pence. But either way, a decent development here for Oxford Biodynamics, and we can stay above the broken trend line there at 35 pence from October. Initial target here up to the 200-day moving average at 56 pence, and then on to 70 pence maybe by the end of March, something like that. But a decent slingshot move there, going into oversold territory and then bouncing back with a gap. Very impressive indeed. On to Pensana, which has the hopes of the rare earth people attached to it. Here we've broken a major trend line there from March and the 50-day moving average at 92 pence. Initially looking for the 200-day line at 107, which should be hit in the next few sessions. Bigger picture target maybe by as soon as the end of next month up to £1.40, which is that resistance line there from back in May, and that could be seen maybe over the next couple of months, something along those lines. Proton is next, and a bit of a mouthful to say, but we'll just call it Proton. Here it's interesting that we've basically had a bear trap below 15 pence, or to 15 pence, and above that after the double dip, the double support there for the shares, looking for the 200-day moving average at 24. Initially, bigger picture target up to 40 pence, maybe over the next couple of months, but let's just see if we can get through the 50-day line at 21 pence. If we can get through that as it is rising, that would be a decent technical signal for the shares. Jumped in early in terms of calling Quetzal higher, which was, I suppose, quite bold given that it's on Aquis and had been in a negative flow since March when it was above 10 pence. But there was a very, very obvious bullish divergence there. Beautiful uptrend line in the RSI window, and that's come through well for the stock. Above the 200-day moving average, it's just under 6 pence, looking for an eventual couple of months target as high as the top of that broadening triangle at 11.5 pence. So that takes us maybe into the end of February, going into March, and only back below 5 pence, really delaying the upside scenario for the shares. Quadrise is next, and looking at this, we have a situation where got the shares gapping up off after a sort of a gap close, a reversal bear trap gap close, and another gap higher now. We broke out of the uptrend that we had from June last year. I suppose that line really can be drawn like that, but I suppose there's not that much value there. The main thing here is that the shares break that 50-day moving average around 2.9 pence. If we can do that, then it could be up to 4 pence, which was October resistance for the shares. Just a couple of stocks to go. The repeats from yesterday, I believe. Shield looking absolutely fantastic at the moment. Here we had the break higher after a gap, bear trap gap reversal, bouncing off the 50-day moving average and now breaking through the 200-day line at 43 pence. Above that, we should be on the way towards the 70 pence level over the next 1 to 2 months. Finishing off with Valerian, which I suppose had the story of the week to date, at least the best reaction to a story. Here we just need to break that line of resistance, trying to work out whether it's a 46, 47 or 48 pence, but you can see roughly we are actually at that line of resistance from June at the moment. Want to clear 50 pence, and if we can do that in a substantial way, maybe a weekly close, something like that, then we should be on the way to 90 pence plus on a 1 to 2 month time frame, and hopefully a little bit sooner. That's it from me today. More updates tomorrow.